Cory, I mean, there's no question about what this win means to your career. I mean, it's a big moment. So give me an idea, just kind of what's going through your head, what you're thinking right now.
I hope I gotta prove to everyone how good I really am. I wasn't afraid to wrestle with him. I wasn't afraid to grapple with the world champion. I fight very free, and I hope that everyone kind of took notice of like how actually good everywhere I am. I'm not just some tall, skinny guy that can control the range really well. I can do everything.
I know you have confidence in yourself and you believe it, but I mean, going on and putting on a performance like that against a proven guy, I mean, did you know 100%, like I can actually do this, or did even you kind of coming in and going, I mean, I think I'm this good, but I've seen this dude do this for a decade now.
It's nice to live in your delusion. And sometimes maybe it's better to live in your delusion for a little bit until maybe it gets proven right. But no, I'm never sure about myself. I live in the real world. I have a very honest opinion about fighters and assessments about fighters and where I am and assessments about myself and what I'm good at and what I'm not good at. So did I know that I was that good? Yes. Did I know that I could put on a performance like that? Yes. But was I sure that it was going to go as smoothly? No.
So what should come next for you? Because I mean, now people are going to say, look, you proved you can fight at the top, but does that mean this division's deep right now? So are you saying I need to be, at the very top right now, or do you feel like you're still in the evolution process?
No, I'm getting better every single day. Whenever the UFC wants to give me the belt, I said I'll take it. I know that we're living in the age of money fights and whatever it may be, however they're matchmaking. Whenever the UFC wants to give me the belt, I'll be able to take it. I think that everyone else in the bantamweight division is bringing the same thing every single fight. I'm someone that's different. I think Cejudo is very, very good, and I don't think anyone else in the bantamweight division is going to be able to beat him except for myself.
What is your problem?
I don't know. I kind of feel a little bad about that. They need to give me like a Canadian or an American or something.
There are a lot of names in the bantamweight division who are currently, getting in there for a title shot. Do you think that, adding you to the mix, that now there's even more pressure on Henry to defend the 135 title first?
I don't know what they're gonna do. I have no idea what they're gonna do, man. And after a fight, I try to relax my mind. I try not to focus on who I'm gonna fight next, because that will just drive you mad when you have a month or two to relax your mind. So I'm not gonna think about it too much. I'm gonna put my agent on it. Like I said, whenever the UFC wants to give me the belt, I'll take it.
You took a lot of risks in this fight, and I know pre-fight we spoke about Justin Gaethje and just sort of the knowledge he gives you from sort of a coaching standpoint. Do you get some of that from him? Because we see him take a lot of risks in fights.
I don't know that I get it from Gaethje. I was given the gift of having really good coaches, one of which being Christian Allen, who I look up to a lot. He's been my mentor, he's been my bigger brother my entire fight career. I've been with him since day one. And we believe in this philosophy of fighting free. I've had fights where I haven't been happy afterwards, even if I've gone and dominated, because I wasn't being myself. And I told myself I'm not being that way anymore. I'm creating my whatever fight I want to fight. I'm going to be free in there. If I make a mistake, I'm at the level where I'm not inadequate anywhere. So if I make a mistake, I'll fix it. I'm going to go out and fight free, and that's what people like to see too. They like to see someone go out and fight as free as that in such a tense, heated moment.
Anything about his son sounds surprising in the fight at all?
Yeah, he was really hard to hit. I knew he was going to be really hard to hit. I think I said that in a couple of interviews with you, maybe James, but he was much harder to hit than I thought he was.
You talk a lot about meditation and mindfulness and drowning the voices out of your head in the cage. When you were envisioning this fight, did it go how you expected, and were there moments when you were on the ground where you had to fight some voices back to get back in position when you can get off your back?
No, I'm able to. There's only little voices that will pop up, and the quicker you can catch it, the quicker you can turn it off, the better. If you follow this voice down this rabbit hole, that's when you're losing minutes. That's when, I made a mistake. Like, what's it looking like to whoever in the crowd, or what are the judges saying right now? It's like, no. Any negative thought that comes in my head, I correct it, I get right back to what I'm doing. And meditation helps a lot with that.
Sandhagen's been around for a long time. Now, you said you were surprised he was hard to hit. Was anything in there that he did that you were like, oh, I know, I've seen this a million times watching tape from him?
He was good at parrying. His guard was very good. But I knew that was going to be the case. I'm fairly good at hitting people and scoring clean shots. And he was much harder than any other opponent I've probably ever faced.
And you've been pretty open with your admiration for Dominic Cruz, and I don't want to say, I don't know if pressure is the word, but is ever in the back of your mind that you're fighting in front of him while he's commentating your fights?
No, I have no thought in the fight, but at the same time there is this level of where I'll maybe if I'm driving in my car to practice, and that'll bump into my mind, you know, where it's like, oh man, like when I was 17 and I was watching this guy on TV, that was really cool for me. That's where I developed my style from. That was kind of my point A. And to think that he's a competitor now is kind of cool, you know, but I don't want him to know that it's that cool, because I don't want him to have a mental edge if we ever have to stand across from each other.
Did you run into him this week?
Huh?
Did you run into him this week at all?
No, I haven't seen him yet.
It seems like you've really got the mental aspect of this figured out. In a lot of ways, the brain is kind of the hardest thing to condition and train. Where do you get this edge in the mental game?
What was the I didn't hear the last part.
Where do you get this really strong mental game? Because it seems like you've got this all figured out in terms of your own mindset inside and outside of the octagon.
When I lost my first fight, it wasn't because the guy was better than me. It was because I was in the cage and I broke. And I looked at myself in the mirror after that loss, and I looked myself in the eyes, and I was like, man, you punked out. And I know I'm not a punk. And I know I don't train like a punk. But in the fight, I punked out in that fight that I lost. And I didn't want to ever feel that way again. And I knew that it was something inside of me that was that. And it wasn't me, because I knew that I was putting in the work. I knew that I wanted it. So I was like, man, well, what is that? And I figured out what that is, and I've killed it off, and now I'm able to perform. But I also have been seeing a sports coach for about 3 years now, and that helps a lot also.
So for me, you've built this reputation as an all-action fighter, and you told me that you weren't expecting an exciting fight with the Sun Sao, but I actually thought there were a lot of really great exchanges. Were you surprised by how much action was in that fight?
No, I heard a couple people booing, and I was like, man, I think that we're being kind of active. I don't know what these people are booing for, but he was hard to hit, and I knew that. And fans just want to see people get their teeth knocked out and like noses get busted up like Perry's, you know. That's what they want to see. That's not what I bring to the table. I bring something where I'm an MMA fans fighter, you know. You got to kind of know what's going on in order to appreciate it, I think. So it's not going to be for everyone.
You talked about your meditation, you talked about talking to somebody. Are there any other exercises you do in terms of just practicing mindfulness that helps you when you are actually in competition or in those stressful situations?
Yeah, a lot. I won't go into too many of them. One thing that I do in every single fight camp is every day I'll write down 3 things I'm grateful for, 3 goals of mine, and 3 things that I've given to the world, and I write down my mantra. So show love, be present, best mixed martial artist that the world's ever seen, one day at a time. Belt in 2020, and I'm worthy of it.
How are you celebrating tonight?
I don't know, it's up to me and the fellas.